So welcome to the video. So I'm going to explain right now how I came up with the code for my Flames program in my computer programming class this semester. So let's go. So I'm using C right here. So as you can see, I have made a very short and brief program about Flames. So I think it's very easy to understand right here. I've used some for loops, a while loop, and a switch, and some conditional statements, and a lot of printfs, obviously. So let's go. Basically, my program is divided into four parts. First, the input part. Second is the elimination of letters part. Third is the elimination of the letters in the flames part. I basically did this one right here a while ago. Next is this display of results part. So let's identify those parts. So first, the input part is right here. Let me draw something. So the one I am enclosing in a circle. Oh, I've messed it up right there. I'm sorry for that one. Let me clear it. So this one, basically this one is the input part. I've included two header files. First is the stdio.h header file, which I think is a very useful and a common header file. Next is string.h header file. So obviously we're going to deal with a lot of strings because we're dealing with names in a Flames game. So I've decided to use this header file. I only have two header files for this program. So yeah, main function right here in main. I've included a lot of uh, integer type variables and a few character type variables. So there are four strings right here with 100 for their size and one character type right here for the do while loop. So let me explain that later. First, the input part is this one. I've decided to not include the spaces for the names and to write them only in lowercase because I think it will be simpler that way. I think it will make the program shorter and simpler, Yeah, so first is enter the first name. So a user will enter first name and with the statement gets. I think you all know this one. It's when you get the input string or the encoded string of the user and store them to a certain variable or certain string. So in this case, we are storing it in this string and one, just a one resize, as you can see right here. So I've decided not to use scanf because I think using gets is more appropriate since we have used string.h in its header file. I think also gets is more reliable than scanf, but scanf is also good. But I think this one, in my opinion, I think gets would do better. So I've used this statement to count the number of characters in that certain string. So strlen and 1, I've equated that to an integer type variable which is x. Next is whatever is the number of characters in the string right here, it will be stored in the x integer type variable and vice versa. So next is it will also go to the y integer type variable, and I've decided to equate this to z whatever excuse me. So whatever the result is, I've decided to add them up to be stored in a certain integer type variable, which is in this case z. So yeah, let's go to the second part now. Second part is the elimination of letters. So say I am inputting I am encoding or I am typing names for the Flames program. So I'm gonna type my own name right here, Jonas. So right now is Jonas Berol. Sorry, it's not in lowercase. Let me revise that one. Jonas Berol. Okay. Second name. I think this one would be good. So, the elimination of letters serves as the first first serves as a very crucial part of the program, because you would never know the result if you don't eliminate the letters right here. So yeah, this one is the elimination of letters part. So as you can see, I've used two for loops. So I've decided to go for this structure right here. I've I've inserted a for loop within a for loop in order for the letters to be compared without really. So this one, uh, so every letters of the strings right here, there are. It depends, because I've used this conditional statement right here. If I is lesser than x, so whatever the user inputs for this one, it will become. It will also be the same with the for loop right here, you know. So, oh, control Z. Okay, so every letter from the string will be compared, and this conditional statement right here, if n1i is equal to n2j, that those letters will be equated to a blank space. So a blank space is very important right here, and the overall length of the two strings will be, excuse me, divided or subtracted by 2. So yeah, let's see the illustration right here. So say I have this two strings of letters, and I see two similar letters, right? Okay, so we eliminate them. So in this case we eliminate 2. So the overall length of the string for the two strings would be subtracted by 2. So z is equal to z minus 2. Since c minus 2, wait, where's t minus c minus 2? Okay, right there. So the overall length would be subtracted by 2, since we look for pairs of the same letters, you know, the similar letters. And this one also, this one, as eliminate these, also take out e, because they are the same. Joke. B. Okay, that's B. Right here. So n, lastly n. I think this is the last one. So z is now equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Z is now equal to 10. Okay, so now we are on our third part, which is the elimination of the letters in the flame. So with a little help, or rather a big help from the internet, I've come up with this code right here. So it's a very complicated series of for loops and while loops and other conditional statements, but this is the most crucial part, or for me, in my opinion, the most important part of this program. So yes, we created R to 6 because there are 6 letters in the frames, right? So for every for every for every loop, this R would be increment, or would be decreased by 1 statement right here, for us to determine what what letter will be eliminated in this case. So in this one we get the remainder of z over r. So whatever about z right here, it will become it will be divided by r, and the remainder would be stored as variable to the type integer type variable right here, which is s. So if s is equal to 0, so s will be equal to r and I would be equal to 1. So I think it's very simple. So else, uh, if so if s is not equal to 0, if there is a remainder, s would be null right here. This is null. This means null, and I would be equal to s plus 1. So whatever the result, uh, whatever the remainder is, it would be added by 1, and j now would be 1. So I and j is very important right here, since we have also used them in our first part. I and j are the backbones of the two for loops that we have used. So third part is a very hard to explain topic, because we are dealing with multiple series of loops and while loops and for loops, and it's very hard to explain in a video. So I'm just going to explain it through a illustration right here. So basically the third part only does this one. It will eliminate every letter that comes within the very last pointer of the counter, right? I guess it will count by tens, since we are dealing with tens right here. So it will count by tens. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it will just eliminate them, and will continue with whatever is the next letter on the string. So it will continue by es. So it will just do this, which is a very common or typical or uh, popular part of the flames part, because it's where you determine whether or not you are friends or lovers or whatever it is in the flame. So yeah, it will just basically do this and again until the very last letter will remain. So in this case, let's do the flames manually. So we're gonna check later if this is correct. So let's go. Uh, the last is L, so the last. So we are basically in. So let's go to the fourth part, which is that is the presentation of the results. So this part right here is the I think this one is included in the third part. So for every whatever is the last number, or whatever is the last letter, which it will be stored in the A1 size of the string. So whatever is the last letter, it will be stored right there. So in this case, I've used switch. So other programs have used if and nested if statements. In here, I think switch is more convenient, because it's easier, since we are dealing with letters and not values for a certain variable. So the last letter is F. So basically this statement is talking about, or is pointing to, the last letter. A1 is the last letter. So the last so if we in layman's term, if we talk about this in layman's term, if the last letter is F, then it will print this one. It's a very um, informal statement, but since it's a game, so I've decided to use this, compose some statements like this. Okay, so I think I think that's also let's run the program right now. Lastly, I've included a do while loop in order for the program to be repeatable and convenient for the users. You know, if they want to repeat the program or if they want to input other names, it's easier than exiting your program and you know opening it or launching it again. So I've included a while loop. I do while loop right here. So the Q, the character type Q, character type variable Q right here is used in this conditional statement. So if Q is equal to lowercase y and Q or equal to uppercase y, it will go back to the do right here and print this or run this program again. So it will continue to do so unless the user inputs n or other letters. So basically it's just that. So right now let's run the program. Run, let's go. Okay, so welcome to Flames. So I've included this note right here. Let me draw. So this note right here is very important also. So enter the first name. What is the first name again? My first name is this. Oh wait, I can't input what first name. So it will be stored in N1. Next is second name. Okay, so it's a very short program, but it is somehow fun, and it can be used by other in parties or sleepovers or. So I have this code right here. So just like in our manual illustration right here, we have love as our final result. So I think this proves that our program is actually working properly. So that's all. Thank you and bye bye.